Have you ever noticed that the more clearly you see, the more alone you feel? That the moment you begin to understand something deeply about people, about society, about life itself, you sense a quiet distance growing between you and the rest of the world? This is not arrogance, nor is it madness. It is the subtle danger of seeing what others do not. And today, I wish to speak to you about that danger, not to frighten you away from insight, but to prepare you for its cost. Most people live comfortably within appearances. They see the surface of life and call it reality. They accept customs because they are common, beliefs because they are popular, and desires because everyone else desires the same things. But from time to time, an individual is born with eyes that look beyond the veil. Such a person does not merely see what is shown, but asks what is hidden, and from that moment on, life is never the same. I have long argued that the world we experience is not reality itself, but a representation shaped by our mind. We do not encounter the world as it truly is, we encounter it as it appears to us. Most people never question this. They move from one desire to another, from one ambition to the next, convinced that fulfillment lies just ahead. But those who see more clearly begin to notice a troubling pattern. Desire is endless, satisfaction is brief, and suffering is woven into the very structure of existence. Imagine standing in a crowded marketplace. Everyone is shouting, bargaining, chasing profit, recognition, pleasure. At first glance, it appears vibrant and alive. But if you step back and observe carefully, you may notice something else: anxiety behind the smiles, fear beneath the confidence, and emptiness hidden by noise. To see this clearly is unsettling. You realize that much of human striving is not noble progress, but desperate distraction. This is one of the first dangers of seeing what others do not: disillusionment. When illusions fall away, comfort often falls with them. You may no longer be able to believe wholeheartedly in promises of happiness sold by society, wealth, status, admiration. You see that these things do not quiet the will, they only feed it, and the will, once fed, grows hungrier still. Consider a simple example. A man believes that if he earns more money, he will finally be at peace. He works tirelessly, sacrifices his health, his time, his relationships. Eventually, he succeeds. But peace does not arrive. Instead, new fears appear: fear of loss, fear of comparison, fear of decline. Those who see clearly understand this pattern early, and because they do, they often refuse to participate with the same enthusiasm as others. This refusal is mistaken for laziness, pessimism, or bitterness. In truth, it is clarity. Another danger is isolation. Insight creates distance. When you question what others accept without thought, you risk becoming a stranger among them. You may find that your concerns are not easily shared, your doubts not easily understood. Most conversations revolve around trivial matters: appearances, gossip, ambition. But the one who sees deeply is haunted by larger questions. Why do we suffer? Why do we desire? Why does satisfaction slip through our fingers like water? This isolation can be painful. Humans are social beings, and even the philosopher feels the ache of loneliness. Yet solitude is often the price of insight. The mind that sees clearly cannot unsee, and so it learns to walk alone, not out of pride, but necessity. There is also the danger of despair. To recognize that life is fundamentally marked by suffering is not an easy realization. Many people protect themselves from this truth through optimism, religion, or distraction. But the clear-eyed individual sees that suffering is not an accident. It is a consequence of endless wanting. As long as we desire, we suffer. When we attain, boredom follows. Between pain and boredom, human life oscillates like a pendulum. This realization can feel crushing. You may ask, if this is the nature of life, what is the point? But here, I urge you not to stop at despair. Insight is dangerous only when it is incomplete. To see suffering clearly is the first step toward transcending it. There is a quiet freedom that comes with understanding the true nature of desire. When you no longer expect the world to satisfy you, you stop begging it for fulfillment. You become less reactive, less enslaved by comparison and ambition. You begin to value moments of stillness, contemplation, and compassion. Art, music, and philosophy become refuges. not because they promise happiness, but because they temporarily silence the will. And perhaps most importantly, seeing what others do not can awaken compassion. When you understand that most people are driven by blind striving rather than conscious choice, anger softens into understanding. You see that cruelty often comes from ignorance, that arrogance often hides fear, and that ambition often masks emptiness. This does not excuse human folly, but it explains it. So yes, there is danger in seeing more clearly. You may feel lonely where others feel entertained. You may feel sorrow where others feel excitement. You may feel detached where others feel driven. But there is also dignity in this clarity, to see the world as it is, and still choose restraint, reflection, and empathy is no small achievement. Let me leave you with this thought. Insight is not meant to make you superior to others, but honest with yourself. The goal is not to escape life, but to stop being deceived by it. If you see what others do not curse your vision. Learn to carry it with humility. Use it not to withdraw in bitterness, but to live more deliberately, more gently, and more truthfully. For in a world intoxicated by illusion, clarity may feel like a burden, but it is also the first step toward inner freedom. And that freedom, though quiet and often misunderstood, is worth every moment of discomfort it demands. If this reflection stirred something within you, sit with it, question it, discuss it. For philosophy does not end with answers, it begins with the courage to see. Thank you.